want to get this going before we do that. And then it should go like that. And then I can check.
Note that some pieces do contain difficult themes and mature content as indicated in your programs. So thank you all for coming, and with great excitement we present What Goes Around Comes Around.
Hello, my name is Amelia, and I'll be reading a poem. Cold frost leaves my mouth. Dove mint chocolates coat love over my tongue. The minty cold bringing electric tingles. Color lost its luster, turned to film of static gray. Is a tree of life withering away? No, it's not. Helping hands guide the glowing orb. The blossom of heat flows freely into my core. The light fills every dark corner with a happy glow. A mini snowman bringing laughter, writing giving warmth, fuzzy blankets giggling. I try with all my effort for everything to stay perfect. The pure dread when the light dims, when it doesn't reach every corner the way I want it to. I stay in the light for as long as possible to remember the giggles, the chocolate, the warmth of October 11.
Hi, my name is Aria, and this is my first piece. Dear Diary, today was the worst and most embarrassing day of my life. I was simply going about my day as one does in elementary school, and when lunch had arrived, my day spiraled into a heap of sticky, cold, and disastrous chaos. Every day, my school has ice cream for dessert after lunch, although I think the school is kind of horrendous at keeping that schedule true to its form. Anyway, after I had filled my stale cone with beautiful, sugary, vanilla soft serve ice cream, I came to a complication when the shoelaces of my glittery pink Skechers dangled a little too close to the cafeteria floor. My knees had tumbled over my feet, catapulting to the gray tile with full force. Not only had my legs ended up flat on the ground, but my face had become covered in the sticky ice cream that once lied within my fist. My blue lunch tray was no longer in my right hand, for it had flown out in front of me, helpless on the ground as much as I was. Oh, the embarrassment. My cheeks were absurdly quick to display the blood that had rushed into my shocked face. The whole lunchroom had seen my tragedy. Giggles lingered and fingers were pointing directly at me and my mess. However, I was not about to let this incident distract me from the ultimate goal: Friday lunch ice cream. I pushed back tears that fought to fall, grabbed my tray, and threw the sad, crumbled wafer into the trash. Snatching unreasonable amounts of brown napkins, I wiped off as much of the remaining ice cream as I could. When I felt content, I furiously walked back to the machine that awaited my vengeance. I yanked another cone from its bag, gripped the silver lever, and poured ice cream to the absolute brim of the new dessert vessel. I had satisfied my heart's desire when the ice cream cone 2.0 had made its way into my empty stomach with little effort and zero embarrassment. Well, I wouldn't say zero. I was definitely still sheepish for the rest of the day. But at least I got ice cream. P.S. I'm never wearing those Skechers on a Friday again. Respectfully, your beloved Sketcher hater. Thank you. This is my second piece. Don't mind the mess. Breaking and entering. The doors were locked, but they didn't care, so they welcomed themselves into my broken home. Unpacking the bags and memories, they shared them with me. Scattering their deepest secrets in frames, they ate the food I had left in closed cabinets, slept in the bed I made for them, wore the clothes I kept inside my darkest closets. I didn't mind. Abandoned, I made a friend. Fixer-upper. Finding my hiding places, they saw the flaws in my floorboards, swept the glass into dirty rugs, covered the holes in fresh paint, replaced rusted nails with silver ones. They fixed the broken things I couldn't on my own. Finally moved in, they made themselves at home. I didn't mind. I was a good investment. An old house made new. For rent. But then the television turned on. Commercials displayed brighter kitchens, cozier living spaces, and softer carpets. Newer homes require less maintenance. Bigger windows let more light in. The bills are cheaper, the appliances more modern, the fireplace warmer, more energy efficient. So when they said, "I'll be back, see you later," I knew they didn't mean it. I was a rental, a vacation. Not a cozy living room or a bright open kitchen, not a childhood home, and not a favorite. I was a sketchy fence and cracked siding, the abandoned and haunted, the empty. I didn't mind. I was never anyone's home. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Lee Moore, and my piece is called When the Trees Talk. When the trees talk, you can't hear them. They whisper to each other through their roots. My grandfather taught me to dig into the earth and to listen carefully. When the trees talk, they speak in rhymes, or in dead languages, or in code, always a way to make you think, to make you truly have to listen. When the trees talk, I sit with my pen and my journal, and I take hastily written notes, desperate to capture what they're saying. I want to go back and reread what they've said. I want to understand them. When the trees talk, the ground hums. In forests especially, the ground nearly trembles with the words of the woodland. Scientists release reports of their findings, claims of inanimate objects communicating, absurdities to scare us. When the trees talk, I'm out of town. I'm not there to see land developers tear through the woods behind my grandfather's house. I don't get a chance to say goodbye. I don't get a chance to try stop their upheaval. I return to a flattened, silent yard. When the trees talked, they sang. Together in harmony, their roots tangled together with sweet dreams and lost promises. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Riley, and my piece is the unwritten letter of my mind. Dear Hope, September 30th, 2022. I hope you are doing well. Hopefully this will reach you in time if I decide to send it. I'm unsure if I will, knowing you will call later this week. Anyways, I just received your letter that was hidden in the unnecessary box of goods, though I do thank you for it. I just stare at the paper as I read in bold, "Do not read unless you are bones." Gave me a chuckle, though I had to quickly step away so others might see it. your words in this letter meant for me. I stumble upstairs, and the eyes of others follow my nervous wisp. Reaching to turn the cold knob to enter my chambers, I was beckoned to the room that faced the other side. Turning around, I walked to the doorway, looking into the dim room. The only light was from a cloudy sky and my mother's TV screen. I asked what she needed, and she said, "I just want to know what you're doing." I could hear the steady beat of my heart pulsing in my brain as I started to wobble a little each way. In a mutter, I said, "I'm about to read the letter Hope sent me." "When's the last time you two spoke?" "It was Monday, when she got her phone back." "I probably know what's in it already. It would be nice to see what it says again." I'll likely wail for a while. She wrote it in a fit of depression. "Well, have fun?" Unlikely, I rejoiced in a sarcastic tone as I walked back to my door, turning the knob to see an opening of tension from my unmade bed, the mess in my side table with the called letters unread, the stacks upon stacks of boxes that needed to be put to rest. Giving a blank stare ahead as the wind pushed my door to a quick close, I turned on the dizzying lights and grabbed the note now crumbled from my pocket. Unfolding the creases that were all scuffed up from me trying to make the letter look perfect, and unveiled 2 pages filled with words front to back. I read from the pages with my fears still making me hesitant. To stare, I could see smudged words from your tears as you quickly wrote down your feelings of fear that I wouldn't want to stay friends. When you spelled something wrong, the scribbled out words were still readable, so I just read it twice. It gave me a little laugh, though honestly I read it over 10 times. To hear each word from your empathetic voice, afraid the tension would break all other noise. I knew this was when you felt so out of place and sad, one of the worst moments you probably have ever had. It said you wrote this on my birthday after you called me, so you hid your distress from me, which is sweet, but I should have known sooner. Then I could have been of use. You know how my brain likes to ponder the ways I could have helped even then, though I'm still 1,740 miles away. I'm sorry for that. I hope you know you can call any time, not just your average Monday. Also, to respond to the question you asked, I'm doing all right at the moment. I'm about to frame your letter on my wall. Love, Bones. P.S. Know you are still my best friend. Thank you.
My name is Ollie, and this is my piece, Sin and Anxieties. I am alone, a rat in its trap, aloof of danger. The tunnel I walk is short, so why does it last forever? It gets smaller, darker, as I step. Walls crushing, freedom fleeing, skin tingling, the bugs climbing. I can see them as they walk my way, walls, floor, ceiling. 8 legs each, they climb my fear, a reminder of my anguish. Their words taste like salt, sinking into wounds in my mouth. You must not talk, shut it up, shut it away. They grip my hair, whisper in my ear, your silence is confirmation. My eyes are closed, my clothes are torn, exposing the meat on my bones. They feast on my flesh, on my breath, arms, neck, chest. They suck my energy out until the feeling is gone, until I am nothing but a shell of myself. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Roanne, and this is my piece, She is a Constellation. It began, as many beginnings do, with light. A blinding, burning flame, a spark, an explosion, the birth of a universe. A question posed with cosmic certainty, she already knows the answer, of who are you? And you don't know. You don't know what you are, but you will. Where the beginning meets the end, there was a universe. A constellation of everything that ever was and everything that ever will be. Imagine it. Imagine everything always, all together, running at you faster than the speed of light. Imagine eons in a moment, time nothing but putty in her hands. Billions of lives and stories are simply a stalled blink. Imagine her. She looks at the small man she has made. She is looking at you. She looks at you and you see stars swimming. You see a grandfather's grandfather looking down. You see a baseball, a child, a morning sun, festivals and holidays, and a humanity that doesn't exist yet. You see everything. You feel like you are everything. You
your mind might explode. How do you feel about this? Your perception of time has crunched itself inward like an accordion, and she is still looking at you. The universe is still looking at you. It's a horrible predicament you're in, really, because you can't find it in yourself to look away. She is the beginning and she is the end of every story you will ever write and every word you will ever say, and so how do you cope with staring into a black hole as she stares back? You are beginning to fear that this will never end, that your mind, previously empty and now full, will slowly gravitate toward the inevitable nothingness that is her arms already encompassing you. How will you do this? When does this end? She has given you consciousness. She tires of staring. She has made you a world to play in. In what you perceive as an instant, she blinks, and you are hands and face down on earth, and within the space of everything that has ever existed, you have never been here. She looks at you, but you are not looking back. She folds her starry hands beneath her chin and perches delicately, waiting for you to discover what a wonderful thing you are. She applauds herself, smiling softly. You are wondrous. Your head is spinning, and there are little ideas in your head that tell you so. You have spindly little things that can carry you forward, and as you take your first steps, she laughs with a jubilance that has never existed before and will never exist again. She has given you a piece of a God mind, an awareness of the cosmos no creature could hold, and that you might not be able to either. The entirety of existing time she is gone without a being who could talk to her, tell her stories, befriend her, and appreciate her for the work she has done. Now, you are here. She tilts her head to the side, admiring you, and blinks. There are many more of you now. You have discovered her trees, her fruit, her caves and creatures. She watches you forage, farm, and with another blink she watches more of you invent things, sharpening her rocks into something entirely new. With time she wonders if you know she's still looking at you, if your mind was enough that you could talk to her, if you will ever know what it is to speak, if you will live and die and never care. She feels almost abandoned, and then she hears you. She's never heard your voice before. It is beautiful. It is magical and precious. You have given her a name, and it's not hers, but it can be. You thank her for the work she has done with your hands clasped together, gazing at her sky. She allows tears of shooting stars to spill down her cheeks as they ripple through galaxies. She knows now that she is not alone anymore. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Mia, and this is my first poem called Bleeding Tiger's Eye Autumn. As the months bleed together, and the trees the colors, I can only think of you. Scent of sweet cinnamon searing my nose, cheeks brown and glowing like jack-o'-lanterns set ablaze on All Hallows Eve. Although you bring the pain of change, this year I'm ready to embrace you. Open-armed, stark as a scarecrow, finally find myself in the autumn chill of your evenings. And when the scents of clove and pumpkin greet me once again, I will open my bleeding eyes once more, only to be met by your tiger's eye gaze over and over again. Thank you. And this is my second poem. Grieving girls are made of shells and cinnamon, choking on pearl-dropped tears, roll down blushed cheeks as the sea will roll over itself in a tortuous cycle. Lady Aphrodite, she cries, I beg of you, please. I cannot live like this any longer. Gold slips through collarbones like sand, meaningless as wiping blood like lipstick off your forehead. Erased eyelash wishes and kisses, move on to the next one, merely a clam with the pearls sealed tightly inside. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Madison. I'm Alana, and we will be reading a piece that I wrote called Depression Hits.
How do you feel?
Like a disappointment.
Don't say that. You will never be a disappointment in my eyes.
I just want to give up. Life is so hard, and it just feels like death is the only option to escape.
I know it feels like that. And it might feel like that for
do the things that they have done to me.
Because the world is unkind and filthy. But I do know that there are moments that are worth living for. The day that you were born, all I could do was stare into those blue eyes and long blonde hair. When you were in the room with all the other babies born that same day, everyone was staring at you, asking, whose baby is that with such long hair? I would say that's my baby girl. They would congratulate me and compliment how beautiful you were. Nothing felt so real and joyous as in that moment. So you see, my sunshine, there are things in life that are truly worth living for. If that man had decided to pull the trigger on my head that day, I would have never had you. I'm very grateful for having God by my side that day. Because years later, you came into my life.
I know, and I hate all of those things that have happened to me. I just wish I could take the pain away from you.
And that is exactly what I want to do for you. If I could take all this pain away from you, I would immediately.
I'm so young, Dad. I'll be 15 in a few days. If I would have gone through with that a few hours ago, I wouldn't have made it to 15. I need this help. I need to be watched and taken care of.
You will, baby. You'll be taken care of until you feel that you're strong enough.
I'm sorry, Dad. I love you very much, and I hate that I put you through this pain.
It's okay, darling. Just make it home safe so I can see you again.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Addie, and my first piece is titled The Fragments You Left Me With. I'm composed of dusty seashells and the brine of depths, but I watched as you stood ashore, the sun kissing your skin, tinging it pink with affection, as the breeze carried me away in chilled currents. The grains of sand chafed my flesh, familiarity in the strain. I wish I could be your favorite record, the grooves worn down with use, or the faded Polaroids on your wall imbued with memories. Yet I am composed of clover petals, the ones you knot in your curly hair, and I watch as pollen clumps in your lashes, drifting when you blink. Though the frigid ice decayed the scent of perfumed blossoms and fresh grass, you never had to abandon that field. I wish I could be the freckles dusting your skin, the scars framing your fingers, and the paint smeared on your nose. Maybe I'm the rusty kettle, still warmed from the stove, the chipped teacups, lipstick stains stubbornly clinging to porcelain, and I watched as your hand slipped, the glass shattering and tea spilling, but the napkins, rough to the touch, softened in the scathing mess, and the bristles of your broom scraping glass on the hardwood brushed the weariness away. And I wish I could be the very earth you walk on, supporting every step, every stumble, and every fall you suffer. You rise to your feet, batting away the dirt, acting indifferent, but disguising despair. All the while, I'd observe your growth, see you burdened to evolve into the person you wanted to be, the person I fought so hard to finally, truly see. Thank you. My second piece contains a content warning for sexual assault. This piece is titled, Heel Bitch. Phrases laced with sabotage, a reoccurring nightmare, their words a horrific montage of accusations and prayers. They'll tell us to be feminine, that color is for gentlemen. Dresses were made for you, but be careful who you sit next to. Don't talk back, that mouth of yours is gonna earn you a smack. Bless your heart, you cannot break down or fall apart. Why look so grim? You will never be more than him. Don't interrupt. A woman must listen to men, never be abrupt. Remember to keep your legs crossed. Comfort is not worth the cost. Keep up appearances. No one wants a woman with values. That's just how it is. Watch your figure. You're looking a little bigger. She was asking for it. She said no. He didn't quit. What was she wearing? Clothes. He was staring. Did she have too much to drink? It was over before she had a chance to think. She was being a whore. She was almost to her front door. She just wants attention. It wasn't an invitation. He assaulted you? What could I do? Say yes. But I didn't want to. Then you got exactly what you deserved. Thank you.
the young baseball player with a .217 batting average who stole first base. How's the weather? Hopefully sunny and cool, perfect for baseball. I left you some seeds to chew on, but for the love of God, please don't stuff your cheeks before you put on your helmet and catcher's glove. I also threw in a couple of cherry sparkling drinks. Your favorite, I know. You can thank me later. Hey, who's pitching? Not someone like Garcia, I hope. Did you give the queen a tour? Knowing you probably talked to her for a few hours, at least. If you're not too busy, let's have one final chat, just the two of us. I have some stuff I've been wanting to tell you, even if it's as sappy as the maples were last winter, so just don't laugh, okay? I love you. Thank you. Thank you so, so, so very much. I'm supposed to be the class valedictorian, but you've schooled me on so many different things. You taught me to be kind. You taught me about how much we impact others, and even if we do not know it. Honestly, sometimes I still forget that you're gone. I turn, seeing shadows at the edge of my vision. I'll hear words and sounds from an unmoving mouth. No, not a Kermit puppet, you goof. Don't worry, I'm still making people laugh. Okay, groan and then chuckle with my amazing, terrible dad jokes. You taught me how to be a good person. You taught me to never take each moment for granted and to throw my full energy into each and everything that makes up my life. You are one of the reasons I'm still here today. You helped to shield me from the storm of being trans and queer in a school full of conservative country assholes. Thank you for being my twin. I'll see you when my head baseball gets back to the pitcher and my cleat touches home plate, but for now, I'm aiming for a grand slam. Love you always, your twin. P.S. What's the meaning of life, the universe, and everything? P.P.S. Just kidding. I know it's 42. P.P.P.S. Do you know what the moon does when the sun won't cut his hair? P.P.P.P.S. Eclipse it. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Emma Harrington, and I'll be reading a poem. I would have changed any part of me just for you to possibly have had a look in the mirror. Please, just become a hero. All I did just to make you happy. Please, do not become snappy. I cannot breathe, not even when you're pulling apart my teeth. If changing every part of me would have made you happy, if being less insane would have made you stay, I wouldn't have realized there wasn't a true monster. On your sweater, there was nothing but slobber. I changed myself for you, only to lose myself too, a version that never existed, trapped in my mind that you hardly even assisted. I wasn't the issue. Thank you.
I'm Alana, still, and I'll be reading just a little haiku. Error 505. This piece has been redacted. Try again later. Thank you.
Okay. Hi, my name is Erwan, and my piece is about a seizure that I had in 2020. It is called Don't Die. I remember I woke up on the floor, and my brain was wondering why everything was vertical and blurry. I wasn't with my body. My pale face touched the cold wood floor, and my feet felt numb. My fingers were dirty, as if I just stuck my hand in a gritty pot full of mud. My head was spinning, and my heart was pounding with anxiety. Maybe I was just dreaming, but I wasn't. This was all real. But I convinced myself that this was a dream, that this wasn't real, I wasn't alive. I had already been stabbed in the heart too many times to deal with this. My flame was slowly dying, it was turning off, it was dead, I was dead. I tried to mumble words, but my mouth felt slimy with the taste of iron in my mouth. I saw shoes and I reached for help. I heard the distant ring of a phone only to pass out again. Was I dreaming? I saw myself somehow. I was above my body, looking down. I morphed back into my limp, aching body. What's going on? Why was this man shaking me, and why did it sound like an echo getting closer and closer to me? So many things were happening, then in a quick flash, I was in the emergency room I knew too well. I finally fell asleep, finally resting, finally over. I woke up and I looked at my mother's tired red eyes. I had a smile on my face. The worst I had ever smiled. One side were limp as if it was falling off, and the other side was tense as a rock. I was a doll being controlled, but the puppeteer broke a string and I was left to perform on my own. My hands started trembling. Everything was spinning and turning into dust. I was dust. My head was off my neck and the blood poured out. I was cold, so cold. I could feel the color pulling out of my body and now it was turning a fade purple. The feeling of vertigo in my body but being completely still was sickening. I wasn't here. I was in another world. A nightmare. I felt like I was floating into heaven, but I then crashed into my body again. The clutter of my brain moving around in my hollow head, back and forth, I felt each nerve weaken by the second. The pain wasn't there, but it was lingering and slowly getting closer and closer, waiting for my shaking brain to react. I felt the wind coming. I knew a storm was about to rise up. My back was feeling like something or someone was poking me. It was about to chase me. It was behind me. It was getting me. It was holding me down as I struggled to get up. It reminded me that karma was real. Why did I do all those things? So many memories rushed into my head. It was a movie. I watched this movie and I cried for help, itching for something else to happen other than this horrible life. The shock of pain in my blood was going through my veins. It was poisoning my body. I was trembling with fear. The trauma I put them all through was finally getting back to me. The violent hits I did were the shivers I felt. The horrible words I said were ripped out of me. The house I ruined was going from my house. I deserved it. I deserved it all. The room was full of doctors pushing my mother away from me. I heard her crying and she was scared. I knew this was going to happen. One day it was going to happen. It was happening right now. But I was not going to let death get a hold of me. I needed to live that second chance. I don't want to go to hell. I don't want to die. If someone is out there, please have mercy on me. I heard so many words coming from so many people, but only heard one sentence from my mother as she was pulled away. Just breathe, it's okay. Don't cry. Don't die. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Jocelyn, and I will be reading a poem about my experience with something called synesthesia. You sit, room bright, flashlights off. Blue, yellow, X's cross, colored shadows, lines. Sharp lights, blurred shapes, focus the second. They just evaporate. Headphones muffle the tumult that creates a synesthesia trip. Pop and fade, mind play, until eyes are sore, until stomach is sick, the terrible timing, the terrific tempo, synesthesia trip. Blue blob, now red rectangle, all dancing delirious, distracting diamonds, tempo, of classical piano, of Spanish guitar, of silent buzzing brain that started this synesthesia trip. Emotion changed the color palette as brain finds white walls to paint with. Panic-ridden yellows, anger taunting reds, hunger bequeathed hands, boredom-lined blues, overstimulated sphincter, synesthesia trip. Lines as colors on a TV that detached, closed eyes create canvas of lids, make pictures clear. I know they're not there. But God, how they are dizzying, delirious, the figments of my synesthesia trip. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Anna Curtis, and these are the words that the lightning carved into the muscle on my legs. The storm pressure builds in her head while rainwater leaks through the insulation and gathers in a puddle on the windowsill of her soul. And she is to become again the modern Cassandra of the locked room case, glass panes shatter over scattered nerve systems. Every worm in the city comes up to the sidewalk to serve as judge, jury, and executioner will all writhe. People think they come to the surface in search of rain, but if they stayed underground, they'd drown, so putting them back in the grass is mercy in the sterile hospital way. Practitioners of medicine can finally be done with rehearsal and take the stage as angels blowing their horns in dusk. When she's lucky, there's clouds to hide the source of the thunder, but sometimes nimbus and cumulonimbus roll aside so that Mother Nature's less faithful husband can map her body in Lichtenberg neon lights. Rage, sing, O muses, of lightning caught in bottles while thoughts thunder freely. Sing of how the soul is lightning striking the same place over and over and over again. Thought is a naturally occurring electrostatic discharge during which two electrically charged regions, both in the atmosphere or one on the ground, temporarily neutralize themselves, causing the instantaneous release of an average of 1 gigajoule of energy. When pain has left the body, weakness will remain. Oh, Cybele, you couldn't have known what would come of this. The body itself is flawed. Legs like when the stoplights blink in unison and automobiles make their own God, the four-way stopping one. The ancient Gnostics believed that through a frequency of light, radio stations can go both ways and connect us all, free from the demi-urgency of modern life. But meanwhile, I walk the cobblestones with bones of steel, free from iron. My eyes are hollow, but for the still burning sun. Thank you.
Thank you all so much for coming to What Goes Around Comes Around. We hope that you enjoyed our show. We loved getting the chance to share our writing with you. And once again, thank you and have a safe drive home.